Wrinkles Society of Hope. If this is your first time, welcome. And those that are returning, thank you so much. Today, you are going to experience a woman who is courageous with a K share her motivational, encouraging story with you. Now, if you would like to know more information about Wrinkles Society of Hope, go to wrinklesocietyofhope.org. And don't forget, hit subscribe and share our YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you can hear about the new stories that come every week. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to hear from you all soon. Hello, Wrinkles family. I am back. I am so excited to have this beautiful woman sitting right here to come and give her interview for the Wrinkles family. I met her through a mutual amazing friend, and I am so excited to talk with her today. So I'm going to have her introduce herself to you all.
All right. So I am Roberta Robertson, aka known as Minister Ro. So excited to be a part of this podcast. I met Summer through a mutual friend, and I'm excited to be a part of her podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming today. And are you a minister in a particular church?
I'm currently living in Texas. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I moved here about 3 years ago. So my licensing came under Pastor Anthony Green and Bishop Green, which is in Los Angeles, or I would say Riverside County, under Second Baptist Church of Redlands. So in 2015, that's where I received my licensing. So I've been preaching the gospel ever since.
Oh, well, blessed to meet you. Love ministers. You know, I am a PK.
Okay.
I know I know the work,
Awesome.
mighty works of speaking. And thank you so much for joining me today and being a part of this. And now that you're in Dallas, I know I have a lot of sisters and friends that are there.
Awesome.
So they definitely will have to connect with you. But with your beautiful, shiny face, I don't see any physical wrinkles.
They're there.
Oh. Well, the ones that are hidden very well. Can you tell me how you felt when those hidden wrinkles popped up on you?
For me, because I had so many wrinkles in my life, and to see an actual physical wrinkle for me, that meant that survival for me. That means that God allowed me to survive all those seasons of whether you want to call them superficial wrinkles or non-physical wrinkles. That to see an actual wrinkle lets me know that his supernatural grace covered me and allowed me to even see a wrinkle. You know, that's a blessing these days when you can live long enough to see an actual wrinkle. And for me, it was about being able to survive to see the next season. Yeah.
I love it. And we definitely, through life, we go through seasons. I mean, ups and downs and tidal waves and
yes,
sun and, warmth of a season. Can you tell us about a season that you had to press through in your life?
Yes. And I like the title of your podcast because I was pondering on it, and I said there are wrinkles that are uncontrolled and there are wrinkles that are controlled. Mm-hmm. And so for me, when I say that, I'm saying that the controlled wrinkles are the ones God gives us the ability to use wisdom, and he allows us the opportunity to build a relationship with him. And so when we don't have that, and we make decisions in our lives and we live through life without that relationship, those are the ones that we have control over, that we can lean on him and not lean on our own understanding. Yes. And the ones that are uncontrolled are those seasons where our environments, or sometimes we let the people in our lives dictate the wrinkles in our lives, yes, or, just the circumstances that we are exposed to that we just absolutely have no control over. So The one season that I think I survived was being molested by a family member. Um, that was uncontrolled. And God didn't have anything to do with that. But it was a season where I had to go through a lot of wrinkles. I had to go through a lot of ups and downs mentally, psychologically, physically. I questioned my identity, my sexuality. I questioned my own makeup. I really had a hard time during that season in trying to identify who I was after I was violated. And so to survive that, I think that God's supernatural grace covered me, where He allowed people in my life, spiritual moms, spiritual sisters, and brothers to encounter me in my life to help kind of steer and guide me and give me that intercessory prayer to reevaluate, for me to help reevaluate who I was as a person. Because when you go through something like that, you go through a season of loss, you go through a season of darkness. I mean, you really are trying to climb your way to the top. And so for me, I believe that God always had a protective angel around me. And I think from birth, He created me in such a facet that I was always that tenacious person who was going to fight. I was going to win and I was going to claim victory regardless of my circumstances, with the help of other people in my life, of course. But I think God, one, helped me through that season, having spiritual parents and siblings and non-blood relatives in my life to help me walk through that every single day. Without that, I don't think I would be where I am today. Yeah, for sure.
There's so many stories of that. So many women that have went through that trauma of having someone that they knew, violate them.
Right.
And I'm more and more, I'm glad that people are speaking out about that, because there's some young girls that have had that happen and they're not sure how to even deal with it at this current moment. What would you tell yourself looking back when you were going through that? What advice would you give yourself in that moment?
That little girl, if I could face her face to face, I would tell her it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Nothing you did caused it. You're loved no matter what. God loves you. And that the person that violated you, they're the ones that have the problem, and it's okay to talk about it, because I grew up in an era where you didn't talk about it. If your family member violated you, you didn't go to mom, you didn't go to dad or aunt or uncle to talk about it. You just held it in. And I would tell her, it's okay for you to talk about it. Even if you can't reach out to immediate family, find somebody that you can talk to. Because had I been able to do that at the time, I think I would have been further along than what I was, because I suppressed it for so long for that reason, because it wasn't an era where you could really talk about it. So I would tell her to be courageous, be strong, step out, keep fighting, be tenacious, seek the people that are open to hear and understand your violation. Yep.
That's powerful, because it is a generation. And I remember the generation back then, you didn't talk about what was going on, even if it was something else going on that you felt, physical abuse or anything. You didn't talk about it. You keep your stuff at home, keep it in your house.
Yes.
And that's such a strong message, especially nowadays, for people to really seek that help and really speak out about what has happened. Especially a young child that feel like they have nobody to turn to. Find somebody, like you said, find somebody to talk to about it.
Absolutely.
And all that you've pressed through and the things that you had to, endure to get to where you are today. And let's say you got a t-shirt made to speak about the strong woman that you are, the minister that you are today. What word would be on that t-shirt?
For me, it probably would be crushed for greatness. And and I say that because I know we only have a certain amount of time on this podcast, but because I was violated more than once in my life, several times. And so each time there was a crushing of my spirit, of my soul, of my identity, of who I was, and who God was who He created me to be. And so, if you recall the story about the potter and the clay, in the book of Jeremiah, God had told him to go see the potter in the wheel. And when he got there, he had a merit of clay in his hands that was not completely formed into anything. And so he broke it down. He broke it down and he rebuilt the pot. But if you notice, he didn't get a clean piece of clay. He used the same piece of clay that he already had. And so when I say that, meaning that who I was born to be, that same person that was violated over and over again, that those things, even though he didn't have anything to do with it, God himself per se, but he allowed the crushing. He allowed me to be broken bit by bit so that he could build me back up, so that I could seek him, so that I could reach out to him, so that I could build a relationship with him, so that he could mold me and create me into who he purposed and destined me to be. And people don't look at it that way, but they're like, if he's God, then why did he allow those things to happen to you? But I wouldn't be who I am today had I had a different journey, because my testimony today is now to help other young girls, help other young women, to let them know that even though they're feeling crushed, even though they're feeling like they're at the bottom of the bottom, they're violated, they may be in the darkest place in their life, that there is victory in that. And so with that, because I had to draw near to him, when I say him, God, what it did was it allowed me to look at things in a different perspective. Instead of being a victim or having that victim attitude, I had to start walking in a victorious mindset, regardless of my season, regardless of the violation, regardless of anything that I endured in my life. God was going to use it for his good. And I was going to claim victory over everything that I had gone through. And so here I am, in my mid 50s, and I'm claiming victory, and I take ownership of my life, regardless of what my past was about. So, yes.
Wow. Well, victory is mine. Yes. And that is a powerful word that you speak. And I think sometimes that we say that we've been through some things, and sometimes people are angry. We find ourselves angry that we're going through something. But you just spoke a word that you wouldn't be who you are today, if you didn't go through what you went through. And that's a blessing in itself that you survived it.
Absolutely. And it's choice. I mean, because it gives us choice. We can choose to sulk in it, and we can choose to let it hinder us, or we can move forward. And it's a matter of using, the relationship that you built with him to move forward, because you can't do it without him.
No, not at all.
You can't do it without him, right?
Not at all. Not at all. Every day you have to use him to get through it.
Absolutely. It's like, give him the wheel. It's like, girlfriend, pull over, get out the driver's seat, get in the passenger seat, let Jesus take the wheel, let him drive you down the road in the right direction. So, exactly.
Yeah. And as you take this road and have been through the things that you've been through, but now what are you doing, and what things have you been done to help others, and what is your goal to help others?
I actually have ministered to various young women, some middle-aged women, throughout my work career. And so one of the things that I've had the opportunity to do in my work career is transition from different geographical locations. And so in each place, God has always given me an assignment. And most of those assignments have been with young women. And so I've ministered within my workplace. I've discipled a lot of women within my workplace. That's a thin line that you don't want to cross. And about 2 years ago, the Lord put on my heart to write a book. And, I'm battling with God. I mean, literally duking it out. And of
Yeah.
all people I should know, I'm never going to win a battle with God, right?
Yeah.
So I'm getting up, I'm going about my day, and he just would not let it ride. He's like, your obedience is going to make room for you. I need you to be obedient in what I'm asking you to do. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I am not an author. I don't write books. This is not my thing, right?
Yes.
And so finally, I lost the battle, of course. And so, as a way to reach out to young women, I wrote my first book, which was published on June 12th. And it's called Every Woman is a Female, but not every female is a woman.
Oh, love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
And so the book is actually doing quite well. There's a few women who've actually started a Bible study discussing this book. The book is actually sold all the way in Canada. And I will tell you that this book is not perfect. There are some wrinkles in this book. But what I realized, and I was beating up myself a little bit, but what I realized is that he created me out of wrinkles. He created me out of my flaws, and he had me write this book out of my flaws. So,
yes.
And it's doing, I believe, and will continue to do exactly what he intended to do by me being obedient. And so this book, if any woman is in a dark place, in a hurt place, is in their tears, in the middle of a divorce, struggling with their identity, struggling with who they are and whom they belong to, this book will paint a canvas. It will help them go from that dark place into a place of destiny and purpose. And I have a bit of my testimony in here as well. It doesn't give the full, but I meet the women right where they are in their season, and I'm very transparent. It's very raw, but it's real, and I think it's necessary in order to help women transition from that place into a purposeful, victorious outcome in their life. So
powerful. I love it. It sounds like such a powerful book.
yes.
And I love that you said that some women are using it in their women's Bible studies, just doing a book club, because I think that it takes sometimes it's good to have a group of women coming together to work through their things, that their wrinkles that they've been through.
Right.
And if you have a guidance from such a powerful tool, it'll help you get through it. You don't have to actually be going through the same wrinkle or been through the same wrinkle, but coming together and reading how this book is going to be powerful to you all individually is going to be a blessing. How can they purchase the book?
So the book is currently available on 3 platforms. You can get it from arthurhouse.com. You can go to their website. Barnes & Noble is actually selling it on their website, so you can go to barnesandnobles.com. And finally, the most popular place to get it is Amazon, also available amazon.com. And also you can purchase the book from me. If you'd like to purchase the book from me, you can email me at YWITS at wits@live.com. So let me say that one more time. YWITS at witslive.com or livewits.com. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Let me look. All right. It's YWITS at live.com. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, as you see, the correct links are coming across on the top of the screen. So you have those different ways to get this and purchase this book. Start a book club, or if your church or just your women's group is wanting some powerful tool to help you all discuss the wrinkles that you've been through, this is a book that we are recommending right now. So as you see, those links are coming across, and you'll be able to purchase that book for yourself. I am so happy that you came today.
I am so glad that I did this. I'm glad that I am able to share my story. I hope that it helps women who actually tune into the Wrinkles podcast. I will tell you that God has really put it on my heart to also do a podcast for the book, to go through each chapter and just really get into the pages of the book and really discuss with women, what it's doing in their lives and how it's impacting them. So stay tuned for that. I'm still wrestling with God on that right now, but I hope to be obedient, and hopefully you'll see a podcast about the book.
Well, definitely reach out to me when that podcast start. And you all know wrinklesocietyofhope.org. We will have a link to that podcast so that you will be able to join in. So we got to get the book, right? So
Yes.
that we can follow along for the podcast. So
Right.
It sounds like such a tremendous blessing for us to be able to follow you and hear from the actual author and really get probably even more from the book by your podcast. Just saying.
Absolutely.
So definitely excited about that. So once she reach out to me about that, she will be our podcast of the month. So we definitely will have her on there. Anything else you would like to share with our Wrinkles family today?
No, I just want every woman to know that they can be victorious. They are victorious, and don't let anything that has happened in their past or that they're going through right now deter them from a purposeful, victorious life. We have to do better at coming together as women and sharing our stories, regardless of what the story is. And don't be embarrassed. Let's be transparent and intentional about those discussions, and let's help each other move forward and break the barriers. Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I've been so blessed by you today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye, Wrinkles.
Bye.